So what if I told you that the real path to becoming a millionaire by 2030 isn't some lucky stock pick or a massive salary? What if it's actually a series of tiny, almost boring habits? We're going to dive into this because the quietly wealthy know a secret. It's all about a system of small, micro moves that let you escape the rat race while everyone else is totally distracted.
Okay, first things first, we have to know our enemy. And it has a name, the high-income poverty trap. It's that super frustrating cycle where your paycheck gets bigger, but somehow your spending goes right up with it, and you end up feeling just as broke as you were before. You know, it's like you're running on a financial treadmill that just keeps getting faster and faster.
So, I've got to ask, does this sound familiar? You look great on paper, right? Good job, maybe a nice car, fancy watch, but in reality, you're basically living paycheck to paycheck, never really getting ahead. This whole feeling of being rich on paper but broke in reality is way more common than you'd think.
Now check this out, because this number is, well, it's a little scary. A full 63% of Americans can't cover a simple $500 emergency. Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't just a problem for people with low incomes. It shows just how fragile most people's finances are, no matter what their salary is. And here's the real kicker. Your income isn't the problem. Nope, the real enemies are the silent assassins of your wealth, and taking them down are the first two master habits of the quietly wealthy. Habit 1 is to actively fight lifestyle creep. You know, that little voice that whispers, "You deserve it," every time you get a raise. And habit 2, make inflation your ally, not some invisible thief that's constantly eating away at your cash. They're the ones feasting on your financial future. And the other 9 habits we're about to cover, those are your weapons to fight back.
But don't worry, there is a way out. It's called the quiet wealth system. And the whole idea is that you don't need some single, life-changing lottery win. Instead, the solution is just a series of consistent, small, micro moves that build incredible momentum over time.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly, the 2 paths you can take. Over on the left, you've got the fake rich way. It's all about looking wealthy, you know? It's fueled by social validation and usually paid for with a credit card. But on the right, that's the quietly wealthy way. It's about operating in stealth mode, building automated systems, and focusing on the one thing that actually matters, your financial freedom. So where do we even begin? Well, before we touch a single dollar, we have to master our financial mindset. Because really, all the habits that build real wealth, they start with the psychology of how you think about money.
All right, let's get into the next 3 micro moves. Habit number 3 is the tell no one rule. Seriously, when you start to see some financial success, you have to resist that urge to shout it from the rooftops. Why? Because looking for that approval from others can actually slow you down. Just keep it to yourself. Habit 4, get good at spotting to fake rich. It's a great reminder to just stay in your own lane. And finally, habit 5, adopt the quietly escape mentality. Always remember, the real prize isn't a boat or a car, it's buying back your own time.
Okay, once that mindset is locked in, it is time to build the engine. We're moving on to the practical steps that will literally make your money start working for you instead of the other way around. I want you to really focus on this number, $20,000. Why this number? Well, it's not just some random savings goal. It's a critical threshold. This is the point where your money starts to have its own gravity, its own momentum, and you can finally shift your focus from just saving to some seriously powerful investing. And here is the 3-step plan to build that engine, covering habits 6, 7, and 8. First up, habit 6. Make hitting that $20,000 threshold your single obsessive focus. Nothing else matters. Next, habit 7 is to automate all the boring stuff. Set up automatic transfers into low-cost index funds. This is how you build wealth while you sleep. And finally, habit 8. Add a side hustle, even a tiny one, to create another stream of income that'll just accelerate your whole journey.
Now, you could have the best wealth-building engine in the world, but it won't mean a thing if you've got a leak in the fuel tank. That's why we have to get our spending habits under control. It's a hard truth, but you simply cannot out-earn bad spending decisions. It's impossible.
So here are our final 3 habits. Habit 9, adopt some frugal habits. And look, this isn't about depriving yourself, it's about consciously deciding what is no longer worth your money. Habit 10 is the one in, one out rule. It's simple. If you want a new luxury, you have to create a new passive income stream to pay for it. Don't touch your salary. And last but not least, habit 11, do monthly debt check-ins. Just audit your finances and catch all those little hidden fees that are trying to slow you down.
There's this quote that just absolutely nails the whole philosophy. It goes, "I'm not saying you can't have the latte. I'm saying the latte shouldn't have a better retirement plan than you do." And really, it's all about priorities, isn't it?
So when you master the mindset, you build the engine, and you plug the leaks in your spending. What does all that actually get you? Well, it gets you this, your quiet escape plan. Let's actually see how these little micro moves create a massive payoff in the long run.
Okay, take a look at this. If you start investing just $100 a month at age 20, you could end up with around $140,000. Pretty good. But if you wait until you're 30, that number plummets to just $75,000. That is a massive difference for just a 10-year delay. It just proves that your most powerful asset isn't your money, it's your time. And let's never ever forget the why behind all of this. The real goal here isn't just to pile up money for the sake of it. The ultimate goal, the real prize, is to buy back your time. It's to gain your freedom, one dividend check, one rental payment, one passive income stream at a time.
Look, becoming a millionaire isn't about luck, it's about a system of tiny, effective habits. The journey doesn't start next year or next month, it starts right now, with a single decision. So the only question left to ask is, what's the first micro move you're going to make today?